Z1035, we're back with the first installment in our series of What's Up in Smith County. This is Blake Frazier with School Superintendent Dr. Michael Robinson with answers to the questions many concerned citizens have asked. We'll wrap this up with a few questions from folks with interest in their school programs. Now, the more the school board's budget is cut would mean a higher number of staff cuts and possibly the elimination of school programs. This person addresses those concerns with their question. Is it true that school sports will be cut or affected by budget cuts? Sports keep so many kids out of trouble, and by cutting them out or limiting them in any way would cause a ripple effect of more children getting into trouble. What are your thoughts about this, and what can be done to keep sports, music, art programs from being cut?
At this point, we don't have any plans to reduce the number of opportunities for sports or other extracurricular activities for students for the same reason that the person who posed the question says. I think it's a good thing for kids. It helps kids stay engaged in our community, and it gives them purposeful and meaningful activities surrounding by teamwork and coaches who care and people who work with them. So it is our hope that we don't have to do anything with extracurricular activities. We have had some reductions already in supplements, which are like coaching supplements. Like we may reduce by an assistant coach somewhere, but we'd still have other assistant coaches. It's where we have maybe 2 or 3 assistants that we would cut back in that area. We are looking in our contingency plans, as one of the other earlier questions asked, at are there other places that we can make a reduction if the budget cuts are more severe than we hope, and some of those more drastic scenarios that could come out. In that case, we may have to look at it. Our goal, though, is to try to go as far as we can without impacting what happens to kids, and that includes at sports and extracurricular activities. But I can't completely rule that out. I agree with the person who wrote this and say that I agree that sports, band, music, chorus, arts are really important for our kids. That opportunity, that exposure to those things are good things. And again, we'll try to work to protect those and minimize those impacts on kids.
One more question concerning school events and smoking. School events and events on school property are already no drug and no alcohol, correct? So how is it any different enforcing a smoke-free policy?
At this point, we have a policy that prohibits the use of tobacco in school buildings and our school vehicles, school division vehicles. We think that's a good thing. It's the right thing to do, and it shouldn't be going on. I also must point out that drugs and intoxication on school grounds is illegal. Smoking right now is not illegal from an adult. I mean, it is for a student, but it's not for an adult. But it is something that I hope our community and others, when they're around kids, will take into mind. I think that if people could refrain from doing it around kids, you never know when the kid next to you has asthma or something else that could be impacted by it. We are currently looking at our policy. We reviewed the current one. We reviewed other divisions. We continue to consider whether we would make the whole campus tobacco-free, which would not only be smoking but chewing tobacco and other things. But we haven't made a decision. Our biggest obstacle right now is how do you police that when so many different groups use our school facilities, which we're glad to provide. But there are a tremendous amount of activities that go on at night and on the weekends, and being able to police all that has a potential to be very difficult to do, and so trying to find ways to handle that. We also, even though it may not be illegal or against school policy to do it at ball games, at many of our football games you'll hear the announcements say, please refrain from smoking in the stands or in groups of folks. We think that's the right thing to do because it's not fair to those that are there to watch the ball game, and so we continue to look at ways that we can do that. But we haven't made an across-the-board blanket statement at this point.
Dr. Robinson, I want to thank you on behalf of the county and myself for answering these questions and without hesitation agreeing to meet with me for this interview. I'll also invite any other comments that you may have at this time.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to hopefully set the record straight in some way and maybe dispel a few rumors that are out there. I think sometimes, and even for us, it's an honor to do what we do and work with kids, and we take that very seriously. I take it very seriously. And also, it's kind of humbling when we think about the size of school division. We're the largest employer in Smith County. We have 14 restaurants in essence, 12 restaurants in essence that serve students food. We have the largest fleet by having 65 buses that are on the road every day. It's a large operation, and it has to be to accommodate 14 schools and approximately 4,800 to 5,000 kids. And so we take that responsibility seriously. Right now, state budget impact is tremendous on us, but especially because we're so dependent upon state funding. We're very hopeful, and we'll try everything we can to try to not impact kids' lives with changing the instructional program drastically, and also our teachers and our staff, because they are our greatest resource to impact kids. And so our goal will be to try to protect that as much as we can. We are at the mercy, because I don't get to generate revenue like some other agencies. I can't raise tuition, and I can't do those type of things to like maybe a college could. But we'll try to spend our money the most effective way and try to protect folks' jobs and students' education in our decision-making process. I believe that to be the case for all our school board members. We've had many a discussion about that, as well as myself and the folks that are here working on the budget day in and day out.
Thank you. I do believe that these were well thought out questions from well-meaning individuals concerned about our county school system. I appreciate the time that people have taken to submit these questions. This is not a once-in-a-lifetime problem. Over the next few years, effects of a poor economy will continue to have an effect on not only our school system, but many of the agencies in our county that receive federal and state funding. On a personal note, when I was young, one weekend, my family and I, while traveling through Kentucky, stopped by Fort Knox. Upon a closer look, I remember, you can only look through the gate and take pictures from the outside of the country's gold vault. In many ways, I see our schools as a Fort Knox. Through the doors, we'll find the gold that will guarantee our future. The difference is, we have an opportunity to step inside, to invest ourselves, and hopefully make a difference in keeping our gold shiny, valuable, and protected. In a school board meeting last Monday night, I spoke about a subject that is emotionally charging to me. In doing that, my comments may have offended school board members, administrators, and a certain superintendent. In most cases, I believe these to be good people, most of them hardworking and capable. For remarks that were seemingly harmful and considered mean, I apologize. But it is with the best of intentions that I ask questions, describe perceptions, and hold our officials appointed or elected accountable. Let us as a community work together through these tough times, and in every situation move toward a better understanding of each other and the situations collectively we have ahead of us. Though some of these questions were written in frustration by individuals experiencing hard times and the possibility of a tougher future, my hope is that we will strive to enlighten, encourage, and work together. The administrators we vent our aggravations toward are people with families, worries, and clouded futures as well. Again, thanks for your questions and for listening. For What's Up in Smith County, this is Blake Frazier for Z1035.